My name's Hardish Virk. I'm the co-creator of Stories That Made Us, Roots, Resilience, Representation. The first room setting we go into is called the Passport Control, and this is designed as the passport control that you would found in Heathrow Airport in the 1960s. It's the experience that new arrivals come across when they first arrive in a new country, and what you will find in this space is facts and figures and a historical timeline depicting the history between the South Asian subcontinent and British Isles, and it sort of suggests that our relationship goes back centuries as opposed to decades. Also, what you'll find in this space is my mother's family's photographs from North India, Punjab, and a board which describes the legislation and the newspaper articles that would have been found in the 1960s. Sort of quite hostile headlines telling people to go back to their own country. And now we're entering the 1970s living room, and this is based on our living room in St George's Road. So what we've done is we've used photographs to ensure that everything that you see in this space is identical to what we had when we were growing up as children. So the television set, the gas heater, the hi-fi system, the drinks canister, the table, everything is as it was back in the 1970s, the wallpaper. What you also find in the living room is a film made by Manjinder Virk, which tells a story of my father and his friends congregating in the living room space. The other thing that you'll find in this space is cases. The cases hold objects from the Virk collection, the collection that was deposited by my father, Herbert Virk, at Coventry Archives. Now this space tells the story of my father. He was a political activist and an artist, and this space really captures that energy of his friends and him getting together in the living room, reciting poetry, planning the next anti-racist march, and drinking whiskey, listening to music. That's the essence of what I was trying to capture within the living room space, as well as share objects depicting his interests, his political interests, his creative interests. So we got records, we got cassettes, as well as his passports and membership cards and posters and so forth. And this is the continuation of the historical timeline. What you'll find also is a pictorial timeline depicting the South Asian history as well. And now we are entering the 1980s bedroom, and this is my story. This is about growing up in 1980s Thatcher's Britain as a teenager, British born and of South Asian heritage. In my case, very specifically, parents of Punjabi heritage. And it's really about what it felt like growing up as a teenager. You know, it's about relationships, it's about the music I listened to, the films that I watched, the things that inspired me, influenced me, what my bedroom looked like. And again, like the living room, photographs have been used to recreate the bedroom as it was when I was growing up. It's also about friendships, it's about relationships, it's about things that made me interested in terms of what I wanted to do as a profession. So I was into theatre, I was into film, I was into DJing, music, illustration, artworks, and designing zines. So all that is depicted in this bedroom setting. So what you find here are the cases which tell the story of me being at school, me hanging out with my friends at concerts, the badges, the postcards that I collected, concert tickets, and I was heavily into visual arts. I was a cartoonist and illustrator, and the magazines and the comics that I collected. And in this space, what we've also got is the continuation of the historical timeline, which looks at the Virk family timeline, the South Asian history, as well as a more generic British and Western history timeline. We also commissioned Manjinder Virk to make a film for the bedroom setting, and this film is very much about friendship and growing up as teenagers. So what she did was she filmed and interviewed my friends and I during the making of this exhibition, and she also used VHS footage from the 1980s, just sort of comparing what it was like growing up in the 1980s as teenagers and how we look back on our memories of that particular period. And now we are entering quite a long corridor, and as we walk down this corridor there are radio broadcasts that are being aired in the speakers. And now we are entering the 1990s, and this is a story of my mother, Jasvir Kang, and we've recreated her radio station because she was a radio broadcaster, an author and a poet. So we celebrate her story in this space. So we've used her radio broadcasts, which can be heard on the headphones, and we've also presented the different types of music that she played using vinyl and cassettes. We've worked with professional voiceover artists as well as her grandchildren to recite her poetry and short stories into English, and all this was directed by Pavanpreet Kaur. You'll also find a case in this space, and that case exhibits the books that my mother wrote, the CDs of her work, posters and leaflets promoting the poetry that she recited at festivals. And as you can see, the historical timeline continues in this space as well, and it comes to the end of the Virk family storyline and the South Asian history. And as we walk down this corridor, you'll find images and questions and provocations asking visitors to tell their own story, which they can do in the reflection space. So this is the reflection space. This is where visitors can process what they've experienced, they've seen, they've heard. They can add their own thoughts, memories to this extension of the timeline, and also watch a film which tells you the backstory of Stories That Made Us, a film that was made by Aisha Jones in 2022. Finally, what you've got here are the credits, acknowledging everybody who was involved in this exhibition, as well as QR codes in case anybody has experienced traumatic memories, they can seek support. And if you want to find out more about this exhibition, my experience of co-creating this exhibition, please check out the podcast. Thank you for joining me.